This will be the video from the class Friday, the 11th of September. And this will be a short one, I'm fairly certain, because we've already seen the while loop a little bit when I was instructing how to do the for loop and the fact that it made a lot of sense to combine them. And we've been looking forward also to situations where the while loop was going to come in handy. So now here it is. This is what I would call the fourth of the four main things that are taught, the four main structures that are taught here in Code High School. Functions, first of all, the for loop, the if else and if statements, and then number 4, the while loop. And before getting into a preview basically of what you can do on your own in this case, just maybe a clarification that there are actually three big things that you will have learned to this point. 1, function calls. 2, loops. It's just that we only looked at the for loop. Now we're going to look at the while loop because they both are loops. And then if else conditional statements. Maybe I'll just start with something that was surely said at one point in one of the videos, that computers are really good at doing only 2 things. One is repeating things, lots and lots and lots of things. Remember that? And so that's what I would have talked about when we got into for loops. Well, it'd be the same thing with while loops. A little bit more so, frankly, for for loops, because you think of for loops working with multimedia. And so when we're talking about, this screen and the pixels being about a million of them that have to change every time the screen is refreshed, that million will be a result of a mathematical calculation of a number of columns and a number of rows that would be an exact looping situation for loop. And frankly, I'm not even sure I've ever said this before teaching, but quite often while loops don't tend to be doing something looping for huge numbers. Oftentimes they'll just be user related, in fact, and they'll just be while the user wants to continue to do something or while the user is continuing to input something. So that's quite a long preamble from me to set up while loops. But I think from there I'll just tell you what's ahead and let you do it, because it is well done. And that's the other thing that I've said before, is that Code High School and the Corel way, as it were, doesn't work so well for if statements, which is why we spent the last couple times doing our own lessons. But while loops, it's perfect. So I just skip over the quiz and the video, which definitely, obviously, as always do, and we go to the first exercise that would have been from the video. You'll see why the Code High School way, as it were, is set up so perfectly for the while loop, because they're different worlds. And in this case, Corel is going to move while the front is clear, and when it gets here, the front will not be clear. But there can be multiple worlds, and when there are multiple worlds, we don't know, at least the code doesn't know, where a certain condition will turn false. Right? In this case, we can see because we're humans and we can see the overall situation, we can see the picture, but computers can't. They can just see this statement, which says while the front is clear. Well, if I just step through this, again, not to repeat what's in the videos are done well in this one in particular, but yeah, while his front is clear, he will keep on moving. So right now, for example, he'll check the condition and ask if the front clear, and the front is clear, so he will move. But now, when he comes back up to this last loop through, he's going to ask one last time, is the front clear? And the answer to that now is false. And it wouldn't have been at the 8th Avenue if we were in the first world, and it wouldn't have been at the 8th Avenue if we were at the third world. It would have been different, and we could, make a million different worlds with a million different widths, and this code would still work. So go for it and go through the exercises that follow along. There are a few, actually, or I guess a couple more other than this. So that's it. That's it. This is one of those times where you can focus a whole lot more on the chapter, the unit as it is presented here, and a little bit less on what I've just given you as an introduction and preamble. But that's it for me for now, only 5 minutes.